Hey, Friday Freestyle, here we are, here we grow. It's Kevin Wagaman, founder of Momentors, author of the book One to Grow On. Let's go today. Today we're talking about how to approach business meetings, meetings you're leading, sales presentations, whatever meeting you're talking about. Hey, this also works at the Thanksgiving table. And let's remember here, first of all, this, by the way, is the focus is trust. Trust is what we're trying to accomplish, okay? Trust has two sides of the ledger, character and credibility. We're gonna focus on character today. There is guidance out there that talks about when you're in front of a room or in front of somebody, as best you can, you wanna match or mirror how they are behaving. In other words, if someone is gregarious, boisterous, big hand gestures, then you match that. Or if someone's a little softer, a little more reserved, you match that. And by the way, if that happens naturally, I think it's great. And yes, it absolutely is part of the rapport building process. But let me offer a little bit of a different strategy, because sometimes I'm sitting across from somebody and clearly they're attempting to match and it's just not authentic. So let me give you something a little more authentic. If you go into meetings and presentations with grace, and I'm going to give you the acronym G.R.A.C.E, then I promise your outcomes, the relationships you build, I don't care if you're introvert talking to extrovert or vice versa, you're going to have better outcomes, and you're also going to be able to make more sense of how the meeting is going and why sometimes it doesn't go the way you want it to. So let's unpack it. It's grace. G is gratitude. I don't care what room you're in. We always want to express gratitude, thanks, appreciation to the other person or the people in the room that they're investing the time to be with you today. The way I do this when I'm standing in front of a room, I always say something along the lines very early in the conversation that I'm so grateful for you all to invest the time to be here today. You have a lot of choices on how to spend your time, and it's great that we get to be together. Something very simple like that. Okay. Grace, that's G. R is reason. Well, this might sound obvious, but have you ever been in a meeting with someone who was completely unreasonable? Me too. So, reason is another thing that we want to bring into the room with us. Well, I can't believe what Sally said, and can you believe that? I got to let Sally know what her problem. Reason is going to allow you to garner more respect, because instead of flying off the handle in an unreasonable fashion, what I've learned is it's just good to ask some questions. Hey, Sally, how did you arrive at that idea? If you're in a business meeting, if you're in a leadership meeting, Sally, tell me a little bit more about how you came to that. What facts and data did you use to formulate that opinion? And of course, if you're in a sales presentation, you can't be unreasonable because you don't get the sale. So ask good questions, which will help you understand where the other person's coming from. Then, if you're bringing reason, gratitude, reason. A would be adaptability. Okay, this is one I've had to hone over the years. There's certainly been meetings I've gone into where I've known the outcomes, the proper outcome of the meeting, and instead of slowly getting input, I've kind of steamrolled my way to that answer. Not great, because even if the answer that I went into the meeting with knowing we needed to get to was the right one, there are chances that had I slowed down and got other input, that the answer may have evolved a little bit. And so you want to be adaptable. Don't be stubborn, because you'll get a reputation for it. And then pretty soon you won't have the influence that you'd like to have in the meetings or in the sales presentations to get to the best idea, which is always the goal, the best outcome. Okay, GRA, adaptability. C would be confidence. I coach a lot of people. This is a big one. We got to help you get from, especially if you're new in whatever meeting, you're coming in fresh or new in the sales role, we got to get you from zero to confidence as quickly as possible. I mentioned this is the character side of the ledger. I teach a whole sales process. The first part of the sales process is preparation. The better you prepare, the more confident you're going to become. And the more you speak up in meetings, and the more meetings you have, if you're a sales professional and you go on a couple appointments and say, well, it's not working, well, you need reps. So the more preparation and the more reps you can get in, the better your outcomes are going to be. So we got to get you to a state of confidence. And then finally, E. E is for empathy. If you carry in a level of empathy into your meetings, what your people are going through, if you're a leader, what the environment is, what the fears might be, whether you're a leader or trying to sell a product or service, understanding what the other person's emotions are, where they're coming from. In some cases, it's, I wonder what this person's upbringing was or what they went through in their life that causes them to behave this way. I've dealt with that in meetings I've led where people have behaved in a way that I would consider unreasonable. And so a level of empathy has allowed me to handle the situation. Of course, you can't, let meetings get hijacked. However, do it in a way that's respectful to the other person, what they're going through. Think if you have a service that you're selling, there's a problem that you're trying to solve, and sometimes those problems can be emotional. So, grace. Again, the character side of the ledger. Got to build the expertise, got to come in with good questions, got to hone your negotiation skills and your debate skills. But this is simply, how do we show up? What are we putting out there when we're in these meetings in terms of energy? And I promise you, not only will you have better outcomes, but you'll make more sense of the process along the way. So you might say, Kevin, that's a lot. That's 5 things, right? G.R.A.C.E. G.R.A.C.E. 5 things. And chances are you're already doing 1 or 2 of them pretty well. So look at those things and think, you know what? I really don't do a good job of expressing gratitude for the people that are in the meeting with me. You know what? I really can up the empathy card a little bit. By the way, empathy, if you're a salesperson, is an X factor. I've seen people go in with confidence and also empathy and maybe not have the greatest skills, but win because they have those 2 things. So think about what it might be for you in an area to grow, and I dare you to try it a few times. And like I said, this also works if you're watching this right after I post it. We're in November. This works at the Thanksgiving table too. If you go through with those components of grace, then you'll move through the meeting with grace. Let's go.